1. Refoulement. The act of forcing refugees or asylum seekers to return to a country where they are likely to face persecution. The principle of non-refoulement is a cornerstone of international humanitarian law, ensuring that vulnerable individuals are not subjected to potential harm upon return. Despite global condemnation, some nations continue to engage in refoulement, disregarding the fundamental rights of asylum seekers. Refoulement violates the ethical obligations of a country as it exposes refugees to the same dangers from which they initially fled. 2. Proponents. People who support or advocate a particular idea, policy, or cause. Proponents of renewable energy argue that transitioning away from fossil fuels is crucial for mitigating climate change. While proponents of globalization highlight economic growth, critics emphasize the widening inequality it creates. Proponents of free healthcare contend that universal access to medical services can lead to a more productive and healthier society. 3. Opponents. People who disagree with or resist a particular idea, policy, or cause. Opponents of artificial intelligence warn that unchecked advancements may lead to widespread job displacement and ethical dilemmas. Although opponents of stricter gun control laws argue for individual freedoms, public safety concerns remain at the forefront of legislative debates. The opponents of censorship assert that restricting information compromises the democratic values of freedom of expression. 4. Advocate. To publicly support or recommend a particular policy or idea. Human rights organizations continue to advocate for the protection of marginalized communities facing systemic oppression. Economists advocate for government intervention in housing markets to ensure affordability and prevent speculative bubbles. Environmentalists advocate for immediate climate action to address the pressing issue of global warming before irreversible damage occurs. 5. Justification. A reason or explanation for an action or decision, often used to defend or support a stance. The government's justification for imposing strict environmental regulations rests on the urgent need to combat climate change. While economic growth is essential, unchecked industrial expansion without justification often leads to irreversible ecological damage. Some argue that the justification for capital punishment lies in its ability to deter crime, while others challenge its ethical validity. 6. Ethical dilemma. A situation in which a difficult moral choice must be made, often involving conflicting values. Advancements in artificial intelligence present an ethical dilemma, as they raise concerns about job displacement and privacy breaches. The ethical dilemma surrounding animal testing forces societies to weigh scientific progress against the rights of living beings. Physicians frequently face the ethical dilemma of prioritizing patient autonomy while ensuring medical interventions align with the best health outcomes. 7. Societal norms. The accepted rules and expectations that guide behavior within a community or society. Despite the rise of individualism, societal norms still heavily influence decisions related to marriage, career choices, and lifestyle. Challenging outdated societal norms is crucial for fostering progressive thinking and ensuring equal rights for all individuals. The rapid evolution of technology continuously reshapes societal norms, altering how people communicate and interact. 8. Fundamental principle. A core or essential idea that forms the basis of a belief or system, The fundamental principle of democracy is the protection of individual liberties and the right to participate in governance. Sustainable development operates on the fundamental principle that economic growth should not come at the expense of environmental preservation. Education is built upon the fundamental principle of fostering critical thinking, creativity, and lifelong learning. 9. Regulatory framework. A system of rules and guidelines designed to govern and control activities within a specific field. A robust regulatory framework is essential for ensuring ethical business practices and protecting consumer rights. The financial sector relies on a strong regulatory framework to prevent fraud and maintain market stability. Countries with an inadequate regulatory framework often struggle to enforce labor laws, leading to exploitation and unsafe working conditions. 10. Proactive measures. Actions taken in advance to prevent problems or promote positive outcomes. Governments must implement proactive measures to mitigate the impact of climate change before irreversible damage occurs. Educational institutions can take proactive measures by integrating technological advancements into their curriculum to enhance student learning. Companies that prioritize proactive measures in cybersecurity can prevent data breaches and safeguard user privacy. 11. Mitigation strategies. Plans or actions designed to reduce the severity of a problem or risk. Governments must implement effective mitigation strategies to curb the adverse effects of climate change before they become irreversible. Mitigation strategies, such as alternative energy investments, can significantly reduce dependency on fossil fuels. Urban planners are developing mitigation strategies to address traffic congestion and promote sustainable transport options. 12. Compelling, persuasive, convincing, or very strong in impact. The compelling argument for universal health care is rooted in its ability to provide equitable medical access to all citizens. Data from recent studies presents compelling evidence that remote work enhances employee productivity and satisfaction. His compelling speech on education reform resonated deeply with policymakers, leading to substantial legislative changes. 13. Controversial, causing disagreement or debate due to differing opinions. The implementation of artificial intelligence in hiring decisions remains a controversial issue, sparking debates on bias and fairness. The legalization of recreational drugs is highly controversial, with strong arguments on both sides regarding public health and personal freedom. Despite its controversial nature, the death penalty continues to be upheld in several countries as a means of deterring crime. 14. Although, even though, used to introduce a contrast. The economic recovery has been steady, albeit slower than experts initially predicted. He accepted the promotion, albeit with some hesitation due to increased responsibilities. The new policy is effective, albeit requiring minor adjustments to ensure its full implementation. 15. Outweigh, to be greater or more significant than something else. The benefits of technological advancements in medicine far outweigh the potential ethical concerns. Although urbanization brings economic progress, its environmental costs often outweigh its advantages. For many students, the long-term career prospects outweigh the immediate financial burden of higher education. 16. Exacerbate. To make a problem or situation worse. Deforestation continues to exacerbate climate change, leading to severe consequences for global ecosystems. Rising housing costs only serve to exacerbate the financial struggles of low-income families. The lack of international cooperation may exacerbate geopolitical tensions, hindering diplomatic resolutions. 17. Drawbacks, disadvantages, or negative aspects of something. While electric vehicles offer environmental benefits, their high initial cost remains one of the major drawbacks for consumers. The drawbacks of excessive screen time include increased health risks and decreased social interaction. Despite the efficiency of automation, its drawbacks, such as job displacement, must be carefully addressed through policy reforms. 18. Jeopardize. To put something at risk or in danger. Ignoring cybersecurity protocols can jeopardize sensitive data, leading to devastating breaches. Excessive reliance on non-renewable energy sources may jeopardize long-term environmental sustainability. Lack of proper financial planning can jeopardize an individual's future security, leaving them vulnerable to economic hardship. 19. Lead to cause or result in something happening. Rapid urbanization can lead to increased pollution levels and a decline in air quality. A well-structured education system can lead to greater economic stability and improved social development. Unhealthy dietary habits often lead to long-term health complications such as obesity and diabetes. 20. Repercussions. The consequences or effects, often negative, of an action or event. Ignoring environmental concerns can have severe repercussions on biodiversity and climate stability. The repercussions of excessive social media use include declining mental health and reduced productivity. Economic policies implemented without foresight can lead to long-lasting repercussions on employment rates and inflation. 21. Ramification. A complex or unintended consequence of a decision or action. The ramifications of deforestation extend beyond habitat loss, impacting global climate patterns as well. Failing to regulate artificial intelligence properly may result in unforeseen ramifications for job security. Globalization has numerous economic benefits, but its ramifications on cultural identity remain contentious. 22. Adversely affect. To have a negative impact on something. Prolonged exposure to polluted air can adversely affect respiratory health and overall well-being. Lack of access to quality education can adversely affect an individual's future career prospects. Disruptions in supply chains can adversely affect global trade, leading to economic instability. 23. Detract from. To reduce the value, importance, or effectiveness of something. Excessive advertising can detract from the authenticity of journalistic reporting, compromising its credibility. A poorly designed curriculum may detract from student engagement and hinder academic performance. The overuse of complex jargon in an academic essay can detract from the clarity of its argument. 24. Undermines. To weaken or reduce the effectiveness of something. Corruption in governance undermines public trust and hinders economic growth. Disregarding scientific research and policymaking undermines efforts to combat climate change effectively. A lack of workplace diversity undermines innovation, restricting the potential for creative problem solving. 25. Catalyst. Something that triggers or accelerates a change or process. Technological advancements have been the catalyst for rapid economic transformation in recent decades. The global pandemic acted as a catalyst for the widespread adoption of remote work and digital learning. Grassroots movements often serve as a catalyst for social and political change, challenging outdated norms. 26. Mitigate. To reduce the severity or negative impact of something. Governments must implement stringent policies to mitigate the effects of climate change before irreversible damage occurs. Effective urban planning can mitigate the consequences of overpopulation and traffic congestion in major cities. Advanced technology has the potential to mitigate the risks associated with cybercrime and data breaches. 27. Alleviate. To make a problem or burden less severe. International aid programs aim to alleviate poverty by providing essential resources to underprivileged communities. Implementing mental health initiatives in workplaces can alleviate stress among employees, improving overall productivity. Medical research continues to develop treatments to alleviate the suffering of individuals with chronic illnesses. 28. Ameliorate. To improve or enhance a situation, particularly a negative one. Governments should invest in education to ameliorate social inequalities and promote upward mobility. Infrastructure development is crucial to ameliorate the living conditions in economically disadvantaged regions. Stringent regulations can ameliorate the environmental damage caused by industrial expansion. 29. A significant number of. A phrase used to emphasize a large quantity or proportion of something. A significant number of young professionals are choosing freelancing over traditional employment due to greater flexibility. Recent studies suggest that a significant number of students struggle with exam-related anxiety, impacting their academic performance. A significant number of endangered species face extinction due to habitat destruction and human interference. 30. Dwindling. Gradually decreasing or diminishing in quantity, strength, or size. The dwindling availability of freshwater resources poses a major challenge for sustainable development. Many traditional crafts are dwindling as modern technologies and automation take precedence. The dwindling birth rate in certain nations raises concerns about future labor shortages and economic stability. 31. Surge. A sudden or dramatic increase. The surge in online shopping has transformed global retail industries, compelling businesses to adapt to digital marketplaces. Following the economic downturn, a surge in unemployment rates has exacerbated financial insecurity among citizens. A surge in renewable energy adoption suggests a promising shift towards sustainable environmental policies. 32. Proliferate. To increase rapidly in number or spread extensively. Social media platforms have allowed misinformation to proliferate at an alarming rate, necessitating stricter regulations. The use of artificial intelligence continues to proliferate across various industries, reshaping the future of employment. Fast food chains proliferate in urban areas, contributing to rising health concerns related to poor dietary habits. 33. Exponential growth. A rapid and significant increase in quantity or development. The exponential growth of digital platforms has revolutionized communication and reshaped global business models. Unregulated urban expansion can lead to the exponential growth of pollution, severely impacting environmental sustainability. Exponential growth in artificial intelligence research continues to unlock new possibilities in medicine, finance, and education. 34. Burgeoning. Growing or expanding rapidly. The burgeoning renewable energy sector is a testament to society's commitment to sustainability and innovation. With the burgeoning popularity of online learning, traditional education methods must adapt to stay relevant. The burgeoning middle class in developing nations is driving unprecedented consumer demand and economic growth. 35. Unprecedented. Never done or seen before, without prior example. The global pandemic led to an unprecedented shift towards remote work, redefining workplace dynamics permanently. Rapid technological advancements have resulted in unprecedented levels of automation across multiple industries. Climate change poses an unprecedented threat to biodiversity, necessitating urgent global cooperation. 36. Monumental. Extremely significant or large in scale. The construction of sustainable cities represents a monumental step towards addressing environmental challenges. The discovery of life on another planet would be a monumental breakthrough in the field of astrophysics. Legal reforms to protect human rights have had a monumental impact on global justice systems. 37. Stagnation. A lack of development, progress, or movement. Economic stagnation often results from poor policy decisions and a lack of innovation. Prolonged stagnation in environmental action could lead to irreversible damage to ecosystems worldwide. Without continuous learning and adaptation, stagnation in career growth becomes inevitable. 38. Contemporary. Related to the present time or modern era. Contemporary art often challenges societal norms and sparks important conversations on social justice. Contemporary educational techniques emphasize critical thinking over rote memorization. The rise of artificial intelligence has significantly altered contemporary business strategies. 39. Ubiquitous. Present everywhere or commonly encountered. Smartphones have become ubiquitous, shaping how people communicate and access information globally. Social media's ubiquitous influence has transformed the landscape of marketing and consumer behavior. Environmental consciousness is becoming increasingly ubiquitous as societies recognize the urgency of climate action. 40. Predominant. Most common, prevalent, or having greater importance. English is the predominant language of international business and diplomacy. The predominant concern among policymakers today is addressing income inequality and economic disparity. Technology plays a predominant role in shaping modern education, redefining how knowledge is acquired and shared. 41. Overarching. Comprehensive, all-encompassing, or fundamental in scope. The overarching goal of sustainable development is to balance economic growth with environmental preservation. In education, an overarching challenge is ensuring equal access to quality learning opportunities for all students. Government policies must adopt an overarching strategy to address climate change rather than focusing on isolated measures. 42. Pivotal. Extremely important or crucial to a process or outcome. Technological innovation plays a pivotal role in the advancement of medical science and healthcare accessibility. Education is a pivotal factor in breaking the cycle of poverty and fostering economic mobility. The government's response to inflation will be pivotal in determining long-term economic stability. 43. Pertinent, relevant, or directly related to the subject at hand. Addressing pertinent issues such as gender equality is crucial for societal progress. The researcher provided only pertinent data, ensuring clarity and conciseness in the report. In debates on immigration policy, economic impact remains a highly pertinent consideration. 44. Prevalent, widespread, or commonly occurring. Obesity has become a prevalent health concern due to sedentary lifestyles and unhealthy dietary habits. Social media is prevalent among younger generations, significantly influencing their views and behaviors. Corruption remains a prevalent issue in many governments, hindering economic and social development. 45. Tangible outcomes. Concrete and measurable results of an action or process. Investing in education yields tangible outcomes, such as improved literacy rates and economic growth. Effective environmental policies must deliver tangible outcomes in reducing carbon emissions. The success of healthcare reform should be measured based on tangible outcomes like increased life expectancy and reduced mortality rates. 46. Viable, practical, workable, or capable of succeeding. Developing renewable energy sources is a viable solution to reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Universal health care is a viable policy that ensures equitable access to medical services for all citizens. While space colonization is an intriguing concept, experts debate whether it is truly viable in the near future. 47. Feasible, possible, achievable, or realistic given the circumstances. Implementing AI-driven education systems is feasible, given the rapid advancements in technology. Many argue that transitioning to a fully cashless economy is feasible but requires robust cybersecurity measures. Reducing traffic congestion through improved public transportation is not only feasible but also economically beneficial. 48. Compulsory, required or mandated by law or rule. In many countries, education is compulsory until the age of 16 to ensure a well-educated workforce. Vaccination should remain compulsory to prevent the resurgence of deadly diseases. Compulsory military service remains a contentious issue, with arguments both in favor and against its necessity. 49. Equitable, fair and impartial, ensuring equal treatment or opportunities for all. An equitable education system provides students from all socioeconomic backgrounds with equal opportunities for success. Healthcare should be equitable, ensuring that essential medical services are accessible to all citizens, regardless of income level. Equitable distribution of resources is fundamental to reducing global poverty and fostering sustainable development. 50. Pragmatic. Practical and realistic rather than theoretical or idealistic. Governments must adopt a pragmatic approach to environmental policies, balancing economic growth with sustainability. A pragmatic solution to urban congestion is the expansion of efficient public transportation systems. While idealistic goals are inspiring, pragmatic strategies are essential to achieving tangible results in policymaking. 51. Profound impact. A significant and far-reaching effect on something. The advent of artificial intelligence has had a profound impact on industries ranging from healthcare to finance. Education has a profound impact on an individual's socioeconomic status and long-term career prospects. Climate change is having a profound impact on biodiversity, disrupting ecosystems worldwide. 52. Profound ramifications. Deep and lasting consequences of an event or action. The rapid depletion of natural resources will have profound ramifications for future generations, affecting food security and economic stability. Advancements in automation bring profound ramifications for the global job market, potentially leading to mass unemployment. The rise of misinformation online has profound ramifications for democracy, shaping public opinion and policy decisions. 53. Foreseeable future. The period of time that can be reasonably predicted based on current trends. With ongoing technological innovation, automation is expected to dominate industries in the foreseeable future. Economic instability may continue to be a pressing concern in the foreseeable future unless decisive policy measures are implemented. Given the current climate crisis, renewable energy is set to play a pivotal role in global energy production in the foreseeable future. 54. Socioeconomic impact. The effect of something on both economic and social aspects of society. The socioeconomic impact of globalization includes increased trade opportunities, but also widening economic disparities. Universal healthcare policies have a profound socioeconomic impact, improving public well-being and reducing financial strain on low-income families. Job automation is transforming industries, creating significant socioeconomic impact by altering employment trends and wage structures. 55. Sustainable development. Economic progress that meets present needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet theirs. Sustainable development requires governments to integrate renewable energy sources into national infrastructure to reduce environmental degradation. Balancing economic growth with ecological preservation remains a fundamental challenge in achieving sustainable development. Investing in sustainable development ensures that natural resources are managed responsibly while promoting long-term economic stability. 56. Economic ramifications. The financial consequences or effects resulting from an action or decision. The economic ramifications of globalization include increased market opportunities alongside widening income inequality. Uncontrolled inflation can have severe economic ramifications, diminishing purchasing power and destabilizing financial markets. Policies promoting automation must consider the economic ramifications of job displacement and shifts in labor demand. 57. Exemplify. To illustrate or serve as a perfect example of something. Sweden's waste management system exemplifies how nations can transition to a circular economy with minimal environmental impact. The success of companies embracing remote work policies exemplifies the growing adaptability of modern workplaces. Urban expansion exemplifies both the benefits of economic progress and the challenges of environmental sustainability. 58. Substantiate. To provide evidence or support for a claim or argument. To substantiate their stance on climate change, scientists rely on extensive research and empirical data. Governments must substantiate their economic policies with clear data to ensure public trust and accountability. Academic institutions require students to substantiate their arguments with credible sources to maintain academic integrity. 59. Depict. To represent or illustrate something, especially through visual or descriptive means. Documentaries often depict the adverse effects of deforestation on biodiversity, urging global action. Literature frequently depicts societal struggles, shedding light on issues such as poverty and discrimination. Historical accounts depict the profound transformations brought about by industrial revolutions across the globe. 60. Corroborate. To confirm or support something with additional evidence or proof. Scientific studies corroborate the link between air pollution and respiratory diseases, highlighting the need for stricter regulations. Eyewitness accounts corroborate the investigative findings, strengthening the case against corporate malpractice. Economic trends corroborate the theory that technological advancements drive long-term productivity and efficiency. 61. Empirical evidence. Data or information obtained through observation or experimentation, rather than theory or speculation. Empirical evidence supports the notion that early childhood education significantly enhances cognitive development. The effectiveness of vaccination programs is firmly rooted in empirical evidence collected over decades of medical research. Empirical evidence demonstrates that excessive social media usage negatively impacts mental health and interpersonal relationships. 62. Extinction. The complete disappearance of a species or phenomenon. The extinction of certain animal species highlights the urgent need for stronger wildlife conservation measures. Deforestation and habitat destruction accelerate the extinction of countless plant and animal species. Cultural extinction occurs when globalization erodes indigenous traditions and languages, diminishing diversity. 63. Susceptible. Likely to be influenced, harmed, or affected by something. Children are more susceptible to respiratory illnesses due to prolonged exposure to air pollution. Low-income communities are particularly susceptible to economic downturns and inflationary pressures. Without adequate cybersecurity measures, personal data remains susceptible to breaches and cyber attacks. 64. Eradicate. To completely eliminate or remove something undesirable. Global vaccination programs aim to eradicate deadly diseases such as polio and measles. Governments must take decisive action to eradicate corruption, ensuring transparency and ethical governance. Sustainable farming techniques can help eradicate soil degradation and promote long-term agricultural productivity. 65. Flora and fauna. The plants and animals that exist in a particular region or ecosystem. Deforestation poses a significant threat to the rich flora and fauna of the Amazon rainforest. Climate change has severely impacted the Arctic's flora and fauna, disrupting ecological balance. Conservation efforts are essential to preserve indigenous flora and fauna and maintain biodiversity. 66. Inherent. Existing as a natural or essential characteristic of something. Freedom of speech is an inherent right in democratic societies, fostering open dialogue and expression. Economic instability is often an inherent risk associated with rapid technological advancements. The inherent adaptability of humans has enabled societies to navigate unprecedented global challenges. 67. Intrinsic. Naturally belonging to or being an essential part of something. The intrinsic value of education lies in its ability to shape critical thinking and intellectual growth. An individual's cultural background has an intrinsic influence on their beliefs and perspectives. Biodiversity holds intrinsic significance in maintaining ecological balance and global sustainability. 68. Intrinsic motivation. The internal drive to perform an action for personal satisfaction rather than external rewards. Students with intrinsic motivation tend to excel academically as their passion drives continuous learning. Intrinsic motivation is a crucial factor in career success, as self-driven individuals show higher levels of productivity. Creative professions often rely on intrinsic motivation rather than financial incentives to fuel artistic expression. 69. Lucrative. Producing substantial financial profit or advantage. The technology sector offers lucrative career opportunities, attracting professionals with competitive salaries. Investment in renewable energy has proven to be a lucrative industry, generating long-term economic benefits. Entrepreneurs seek lucrative business ventures that promise high returns while minimizing risks. 70. Imperative. Extremely important or necessary for success or survival. Immediate action on climate change is imperative to prevent irreversible environmental damage. It is imperative for governments to implement policies that promote equal access to health care. In an era of digitalization, cybersecurity measures are imperative to protect sensitive information. 71. Holistic. Considering all aspects of a situation rather than focusing on individual elements. A holistic approach to education incorporates both academic and emotional development, fostering well-rounded individuals. Healthcare systems must adopt holistic treatment methods that address both physical and mental well-being. Urban planning must be holistic, balancing infrastructure expansion with environmental sustainability. 72. Expedite. To speed up or accelerate the process of something. Governments must expedite the transition to renewable energy to mitigate the impact of climate change. Advanced technology has expedited communication, allowing businesses to operate more efficiently on a global scale. In crisis situations, international aid efforts should be expedited to prevent humanitarian disasters. 73. Arduous. Difficult, requiring great effort and endurance. Completing a doctoral thesis is an arduous task that demands extensive research and intellectual rigor. Migrating to a foreign country often involves an arduous adjustment period, both socially and economically. Addressing income inequality is an arduous challenge that necessitates systemic reforms and long-term policy strategies. 74. Entail. To involve or require as a necessary part of something. Developing sustainable infrastructure entails significant investment and careful urban planning. Adopting electric vehicles entails creating a robust charging network to support widespread usage. Ensuring gender equality entails reforming both legal frameworks and cultural perceptions. 75. Viability. The ability to work successfully or be practical in a given context. The viability of nuclear energy depends on advancements in waste management and safety regulations. Assessing the financial viability of a startup is crucial before securing investment. Many experts question the long-term viability of fossil fuel reliance in an increasingly sustainable world. 76. Discrepancy. A difference or inconsistency between two things. The discrepancy between urban and rural healthcare access remains a pressing concern for policymakers. Salary discrepancies between male and female employees highlight the persistent gender pay gap in many industries. Scientific research aims to resolve discrepancies in climate data to develop more accurate predictive models. 77. Disproportionate. Unequal or excessive in relation to something else. Lower-income communities often bear a disproportionate burden of environmental pollution due to industrial placement. The disproportionate allocation of resources in education exacerbates social inequality. Climate change disproportionately affects developing nations, despite their minimal contribution to global emissions. 78. Circumvent. To avoid or find a way around an obstacle or restriction. Corporations often attempt to circumvent tax regulations by relocating their financial operations overseas. Some students circumvent traditional education paths by pursuing self-directed online learning. Legal loopholes allow companies to circumvent labor laws, leading to unfair working conditions. 79. Fortify. To strengthen or reinforce something. Governments must fortify cybersecurity measures to combat increasing cyber threats and data breaches. Regular exercise and a balanced diet fortify the immune system against illnesses. Trade agreements can fortify diplomatic relations, fostering economic growth between nations. 80. Polarizing. Causing strong division or opposing opinions. The debate on universal basic income remains highly polarizing, with economists split on its economic feasibility. Artificial intelligence is a polarizing topic, with proponents praising its benefits while critics highlight ethical concerns. Social media can be polarizing, amplifying ideological divides rather than fostering constructive discourse. 81. Cogent, clear, logical, and convincing. His cogent argument in favor of stricter environmental regulations swayed many policymakers. To succeed in academic writing, students must present cogent reasoning supported by empirical evidence. A cogent explanation of economic trends requires thorough analysis and well-structured reasoning. 82. Salient, most important or noticeable in a given context. One of the most salient issues in modern society is the widening gap between the rich and the poor. The salient features of a well-designed education system include accessibility, adaptability, and inclusivity. In legal debates, precedent often serves as the most salient factor influencing judicial decisions. 83. Caveat, a warning or condition that should be taken into account. While technological advancements improve efficiency, the caveat is that automation may lead to significant job displacement. Governments must introduce strict regulations on AI development, with the caveat that overregulation could stifle innovation. The proposed free healthcare system is promising, but the caveat remains its long-term financial sustainability. 84. Precursor, something that comes before and indicates the approach of something else. The Industrial Revolution served as a precursor to rapid global economic expansion and technological innovation. Deforestation is often a precursor to widespread biodiversity loss, disrupting delicate ecosystems. The rise of remote work is a precursor to the transformation of traditional workplace dynamics. 85. Incumbent upon, necessary or obligatory for someone to do. It is incumbent upon governments to address climate change through proactive policies and international cooperation. In an era of misinformation, it is incumbent upon journalists to uphold accuracy and ethical reporting standards. It is incumbent upon policymakers to ensure that economic reforms benefit all citizens, not just the privileged few. 86. Propensity, a natural tendency or inclination towards something. Individuals with a strong propensity for critical thinking excel in problem-solving and decision-making. The propensity of modern consumers to rely on digital platforms has transformed traditional retail industries. Studies suggest a propensity for sedentary lifestyles due to the prevalence of technology and screen-based entertainment. 87. Incisive, showing deep understanding or clear and sharp analysis. Her incisive critique of economic policies highlighted the flaws in wealth distribution strategies. Incisive journalism is essential for uncovering corruption and holding public officials accountable. His incisive argument on climate change swayed policymakers towards adopting more aggressive environmental regulations. 88. Conducive to, making something easier or more likely to happen. A peaceful and inclusive society is conducive to economic growth and stability. Engaging classroom environments are conducive to student learning and intellectual curiosity. Frequent exercise is conducive to maintaining both physical and mental well-being. 89. Dichotomy, a division or contrast between two opposing things. The dichotomy between economic growth and environmental conservation remains a major challenge for policymakers. A clear dichotomy exists between urban and rural healthcare accessibility, exacerbating social inequality. The modern workplace reflects a dichotomy between traditional job roles and emerging digital professions. 90. Foster. To encourage, promote, or develop something. Governments must foster innovation by investing in research and development. Educational institutions play a crucial role in fostering critical thinking and creativity among students. International cooperation fosters diplomatic relations and strengthens global stability. 91. Scrutinize. To examine or analyze something thoroughly. Regulatory authorities must scrutinize corporate practices to prevent unethical business activities. Before implementing new policies, governments must scrutinize their potential economic and social ramifications. The scientific community continually scrutinizes research findings to ensure accuracy and validity. 92. Resurgence. A revival or return of something after a period of decline. There has been a resurgence in the popularity of traditional craftsmanship as consumers seek authenticity. The resurgence of nationalism in certain countries has sparked debates on globalization and international cooperation. Renewable energy has seen a resurgence in investment due to growing concerns over climate change. 93. Propagate. To spread or promote an idea, theory, or belief widely. Social media has become a powerful tool to propagate both factual information and misinformation. Governments must propagate awareness regarding climate change to encourage sustainable practices among citizens. Educational institutions play a crucial role in propagating values of inclusivity and diversity. 94. Foremost. Most important or primary in position or rank. Ensuring universal access to education should be the foremost priority of any progressive society. Among all environmental concerns, reducing carbon emissions is the foremost challenge that nations must address. Technological innovation remains the foremost driver of economic growth in the modern era. 95. Vindicate. To prove that someone or something is correct, justified, or innocent. New scientific research vindicates the long-held belief that renewable energy is a viable alternative to fossil fuels. Historical evidence vindicates the argument that economic inequality stems from systemic failures rather than individual shortcomings. The court ruling vindicates the activists' efforts, reinforcing the importance of human rights advocacy. 96. Delineate. To describe or outline something clearly and precisely. Urban planners must delineate sustainable development strategies to balance infrastructure growth with environmental preservation. The Constitution delineates the fundamental rights of citizens, ensuring legal protection against discrimination. In academic writing, it is essential to delineate arguments logically to enhance clarity and coherence. 97. Perturb. To disturb or cause anxiety. Economic instability can perturb global financial markets, leading to widespread uncertainty. Drastic climate changes perturb delicate ecosystems, endangering numerous species. The rise of artificial intelligence in employment sectors continues to perturb many workers concerned about job security. 98. Elucidate. To clarify or explain something in a detailed manner. The report seeks to elucidate the impact of globalization on cultural identities. Professors must elucidate complex theories in a way that makes them accessible to students. Policymakers should elucidate their strategies clearly to garner public support and trust. 99. Statutory obligations. Legal responsibilities imposed by a government or authority. Companies must fulfill their statutory obligations to ensure ethical business practices and compliance with labor laws. Governments have statutory obligations to protect citizens' fundamental rights and freedoms. Failure to adhere to statutory obligations often results in severe legal consequences for corporations. 100. Remedial measures. Actions taken to fix or improve a problematic situation. Governments must implement remedial measures to address environmental degradation and promote sustainability. Educational reforms should focus on remedial measures that enhance student performance in underprivileged areas. Addressing economic disparities requires remedial measures that promote equal access to financial resources. 101. As far as I am concerned. A phrase used to express personal opinion or stance on an issue. As far as I am concerned, prioritizing mental health in workplaces should be mandatory. As far as I am concerned, the benefits of globalization outweigh its drawbacks despite its challenges. As far as I am concerned, stricter gun control laws are necessary to ensure public safety. 102. Studies have shown that. A phrase used to introduce research-based evidence supporting a claim. Studies have shown that early childhood education significantly enhances cognitive development and long-term academic success. Studies have shown that excessive consumption of processed foods increases the risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension. Studies have shown that countries investing in green energy experience sustainable economic growth and reduced environmental degradation. 103. To be more precise. A phrase used to clarify or provide more specific details about a statement. Air pollution is a severe environmental issue. To be more precise, vehicular emissions contribute significantly to urban air quality deterioration. Remote work has numerous advantages. To be more precise, it enhances productivity by eliminating workplace distractions and commute-related stress. The decline in biodiversity is alarming. To be more precise, deforestation and habitat destruction have led to the extinction of several species. 104. To recapitulate. A phrase used to summarize or restate key points in an argument. To recapitulate, investing in education not only fosters economic growth but also ensures social stability and innovation. To recapitulate, the benefits of a plant-based diet extend beyond individual health to include environmental sustainability. To recapitulate, stringent cybersecurity measures are essential to protect sensitive information and prevent data breaches. 105. Of the utmost importance. A phrase used to emphasize the highest level of significance. Ensuring universal health care is of the utmost importance for fostering a healthier and more productive society. Addressing climate change is of the utmost importance, as it directly impacts future generations and global sustainability. Providing equal educational opportunities to all students is of the utmost importance in promoting social equity and economic development. 106. Unquestionably, a phrase used to express absolute certainty or undeniable truth. Unquestionably, technological advancements have revolutionized communication, making information accessible in real time. Unquestionably, the preservation of cultural heritage is essential in maintaining a nation's identity and historical continuity. Unquestionably, renewable energy is the key to achieving long-term environmental sustainability and reducing dependence on fossil fuels. 107. Undoubtedly. Without a doubt. Unquestionably true or certain. Undoubtedly. Education plays a pivotal role in shaping an individual's future opportunities and societal contributions. Technological advancements have undoubtedly revolutionized communication, making global interaction seamless. The urgent need for climate action is undoubtedly one of the most pressing challenges of our time. 108. By far. To a great degree, emphasizing that something is much better, worse, or more important than others. Renewable energy is by far the most sustainable solution to the world's growing energy demands. Among various factors influencing public health, access to clean water is by far the most crucial. By far, the Internet has been the most transformative invention of the modern era, reshaping industries and lifestyles alike. 109. Incontrovertible. Impossible to dispute or deny. Unquestionably true. The incontrovertible evidence linking human activities to climate change necessitates immediate global intervention. Scientific advancements have provided incontrovertible proof that vaccination is essential in preventing infectious diseases. It is incontrovertible that economic disparity continues to hinder social progress, requiring comprehensive policy reforms. 110. Conclusive evidence. Definitive proof that leaves no room for doubt or debate. Conclusive evidence suggests that exposure to pollution directly correlates with increased respiratory illnesses. After years of research, scientists have gathered conclusive evidence proving the effectiveness of gene therapy in treating genetic disorders. In legal proceedings, conclusive evidence is critical in ensuring fair judgments and upholding justice.